Hello, I'm George. I regularly work in video production, and one aspect I'm particularly passionate about in the production process is color grading. I primarily use DaVinci Resolve for color grading, where I take advantage of numerous nodes to perform color correction and color grading to achieve the ideal visual expression. However, color grading can be quite challenging and requires time to master. But there's a plugin that allows even beginners to create cinematic or film-like visuals with precision. That plugin is Dehancer. With Dehancer, anyone can easily achieve professional-level visual expression. Dehancer can be used with many editing software programs, and it will undoubtedly play a significant role in whichever software you're using. So, let's dive into color grading using Dehancer. First, I'll create a setup with 4 nodes. Since Dehancer is a plugin that can handle both color correction and color grading, I'll place a node with Dehancer at the very end. Nodes are applied sequentially from left to right, so placing Dehancer at the start would prevent appropriate color editing afterward. From left to right, the nodes will be noise reduction, white balance, contrast, and finally, Dehancer. I'll load Dehancer from the installed effects library. In the input section, I'll select Choose Camera under Source and choose the appropriate camera brand and model based on the footage. This footage was shot with the Sony FX3, so I'll select Sony. For the camera, I'll choose FX3, and for the format, I'll select S-Log3 S-Gamut3. First, I'll disable all the enabled effects to make it easier to see the changes one by one. I'll also close all the tabs to keep the effect library organized. Now, let's choose a film profile. Dehancer offers a variety of profiles. For example, Kodak Vision 3 is widely used in film production, known for its high color accuracy, natural skin tones, and rich dynamic range. Kodak Portra is often used for portraits due to its warm and soft tones. Fujichrome Provia 100F is great for vivid and realistic color reproduction, ideal for nature and landscape shots. And Kodak Eastman 5222 is a black and white film perfect for creating a classic film noir or historical feel. There are many profiles to inspire your creativity. For this demonstration, I'll select Kodak Vision 3, which is frequently used in filmmaking. Within this profile, there are different options: 200T, 500T, 250D, and 50D. The numbers represent ISO, with D for daylight and T for tungsten, which is suitable for indoor shooting. Since this footage was shot outdoors, I'll choose Kodak Vision 350D, which has very fine grain and provides sharp, high-resolution images. Next, I'll move to the Extended Controls tab, where I can adjust the black point and white point. It's useful to enable the clipping indication option here. If there's overexposure, it will show in red, and underexposure will show in blue. Adjust the black and white points while being mindful of these indicators, placing the shadows and highlights to your preference. In the Film Developer tab, you can fine-tune the contrast and saturation. The Film Compression tab allows you to compress the highlights. Next is the Print section. The profiles here are designed for the final output of your film, adding specific tones and textures to your footage. Kodak 2383 is one of the most commonly used print films in the industry, known for its vibrant, sharp colors, particularly emphasizing blues and deep blacks. It gives strong contrast and vivid color to your footage. Fujifilm 3513 offers a softer color palette compared to Kodak 2383, making it great for natural skin tones and an overall subdued tone. It's suitable for projects that require a warmer look than Kodak. For this project, I'll select Kodak 2383. I'll enable the analog range limiter and adjust the temperature, exposure, contrast, and saturation. I found this offers more fine-tuned adjustments than typical methods, preserving the original color's richness. Next, I'll move on to the color head section to further adjust the colors according to the look I'm aiming for. It's important not to overdo these adjustments. Minor tweaks are key, as excessive changes can break the color integrity. I typically align the skin tone indicator on the vector scope with the actual skin tone in the footage. After that, I'll separate the tones in the shadows, midtones and highlights to create a teal and orange look. Next is film grain. Film grain adds texture and warmth to the footage, giving it a more natural and cinematic feel. Using this feature prevents digital footage from looking overly sharp and artificial, allowing for a more organic film-like look. The smaller the mil value in the profile, the coarser and larger the grain effect. A higher mil value results in finer, smaller grain. You can also adjust this to your preference. I prefer smaller grain, so I'll customize it accordingly. Now for the halation effect. Halation is particularly prominent in nighttime or backlit scenes. It adds a natural light effect, contributing to a more authentic film look. Again, the smaller the mil value, the stronger the effect, and the larger the value, the subtler the effect. I'll adjust it slightly for the right balance. Next is the bloom effect. Bloom softens the highlights, creating a dreamy, cinematic atmosphere. Adding bloom gives a soft light spread, enhancing the cinematic quality of your footage. It's especially effective in backlit scenes or bright daytime outdoor shots. The smaller the mil value, the stronger the effect, and the larger the value, the more subtle the effect. I'll apply just a little bloom for a gentle touch. Finally, the vignette. A vignette helps draw attention to the subject and can be easily applied in Dehancer. You can use the mask mode to better position it and adjust it to sit nicely around your subject. I'll finish by making some final adjustments. At the start of the node chain, I'll apply noise reduction to clean up the footage. Make sure not to overdo this to avoid losing detail. And we're done. For an advanced touch, you can further refine skin tones, elevating the quality of your footage. Add a new node before the Dehancer node, and use the qualifier to isolate the subject's skin. Once isolated, adjust the texture and tone of the skin. Since we're working with female skin, I'll soften the midtones slightly, and, using the vector scope as a reference, push the color slightly toward orange. Again, subtle adjustments are key here. And that's it. With Dehancer, anyone can create cinematic visuals quickly and intuitively. I was initially skeptical about whether it was necessary to use Dehancer with a flexible tool like DaVinci Resolve, but after trying it, I found it broadened my color grading possibilities and improved precision. While Dehancer is user-friendly for beginners, I believe it's also a powerful tool for advanced users and professionals. There are many other exciting profiles to explore, so if you're interested, I recommend starting with Dehancer's free trial. Thank you for watching. See you next time.